Hello, I wanted to make a video regarding the VNAV issue. I'm not sure why, but I've flown this route before and it's worked fine for me. But I wanted to get your guys' take on what I'm doing wrong, if anything. So the route is basically from KSLI to KLAX. Very short flight. I'm going to fly east and then head northeast and then turn around and head back to LAX. These are my route points here. So you can see it's WEMDO, WEMDO, and then CVU, the LICOM tank. You can see what the values here are with 12,000 feet, 270 knots, at 11,000, 10,000. So I would imagine that as soon as I hit my cruising altitude, which I've established here at 12,000 feet, that the VNAV function will automatically start descending me to the right speeds. So I usually hit, when I'm here on the descend screen, as soon as I hit my cruising altitude, it should be a descend now button that shows up right there, and then I'd click that, and then what would happen is it would start jogging the variable vertical speed. And so that doesn't happen anymore, but I'm hoping you guys can explain what's going on. So I got everything here in my takeoff configuration. I'm ready to take off runway 4 right. I'll speed up the video or explain where I'm at, and we can go from there. So let's do this. So I got everything set up. I got my ILS headings at 251, my course. Course 1, course 2 is 251 degrees. I've got my ILS frequencies plugged in, 111.1, and then I will be landing, pointing for runway 25 right. So let's take it away. And I am going to climb manually, simply because the VNAV function just goes crazy at the speeds of vertical speed. It'll try to ascend to my cruising altitude at 9,000 feet per minute. I don't know why it does that. It's crazy. So I never turn my VNAV function on as I'm climbing into my cruising altitude. So I guess let me show you what happens now if I touch VNAV. So again, if you recall, my cruising altitude is set for 12,000. Look what happens when I turn VNAV on. I don't know what I'm doing, but this is what happens. So first off, let me get on path here, fly the runway heading. It's going to get me back on course. And now look what happens when I hit VNAV. So the speed is 250. But then look at my climb. Why is it doing that? I don't understand. I mean, that is ridiculous. 8,300, 8,100 feet per minute. I mean, those are crazy numbers as to why would it do that? So I guess I'm not certain about that. But let's just hold it. I'll show you what happens. Again, 5,800 feet per minute. That seems very drastic. So hopefully we'll get on track here. And again, 5,700 feet per minute. It just seems like an extremely aggressive rate of climb. It's okay, so I'm 1,000 feet below my cruising. I should be coming down. I'm hitting my cruising altitude now. Okay, so VNAV is established. FMC speed, everything is good. I'm making my turn. So now that I've established my cruising altitude, I'm really going to turn down my altitude down to about 2,000 feet. That will then get me to intercept the glide slope. So I'm just going to move this down to 2,000. And my top of descent is 22 nautical miles away. So at this point, what I do is I got my altitude set for 2,000 and I go over here and hit the descend. And this is the button that I press. And at this point, I should start seeing my vertical speed jog, but my vertical speed is not showing anything. So hopefully it will descend soon, but we'll see. But it's not doing it so far, so I don't know what's going on. But I guess we'll fly the route. And again, maybe the top of descent says 18 nautical miles. Well, I have some ways to go. So maybe, hopefully the vertical speed will come down 18 nautical miles out. But from what I've seen, it does not do that. So that it's now active. The VNAV descent is active. And I'm not quite sure why it's not trying to come down. So it should be looking for 11,000, 10,000 feet now. 11,000 at least, but we'll see. So I'm still stuck on my cruising altitude of 12,000, and it's not really doing anything. And at least the FMC program speed, which is 240 knots, we kind of got that established. $240 knots, 240 knots. I guess the other question is, why isn't it at 270 knots if that was what was in the system? So I'm not sure about that either. Okay, well, we'll make a turn here. Again, this is just, hopefully the video will kind of explain out what I'm dealing with, but not really understanding why it just stopped working, because at this point, 4 weeks ago, 3.5, 4 weeks ago, this vertical speed will be going up and down, up and down, up and down. And it is no longer doing that. And now I'm at 0. There it is. So 0. Top of descent is 0. And I am not reducing my altitude. If I hit the vertical speed, nothing. Go back to VNAV, nothing. At least it follows the route, but no altitude change. So I don't know why this VNAV is not operating for me. So maybe of course, it could be operator error. I'm not ruling that out. But I'd like to know what I'm doing wrong here based on what you guys have seen. Please help me out and help me understand what this issue is. Because this is one of my favorite games to play. You guys really have done an awesome job with this flight simulator, and hopefully I'll get a better understanding of what's going on here. But yeah, so I kind of look forward to feedback. So let's see. I'm going to be hitting here LICOM in the next half a minute or so. And then we should see another descent down to 9,000. Still no jog on the vertical speed. So that's that. And thank you for checking this out and trying to help answer my questions. So let me know if I'm doing something wrong or if this is